Kia ora e te whānau na mihi nui kia koutou. We're at the end of week 3, our first full week at Tawa School, and our tamariki have done really well. Thankfully, the weather's been pretty good, so that's always a bonus. Hey, there's lots in today's bulletin, so we're going to get stuck straight into the newsletter. There's lots of information around our Omicron response, so please check it out.
Dear parents, caregivers and whānau, e te whānau o te kura o Tawa, tēnā koutou katoa. Our positive start to the year has continued as our tamariki have settled into the routine of life at Red. We are really proud of the inclusive and supportive nature of our students as they get used to new ways of doing things. A big thank you must go out to our teachers who have worked hard to make sure the start of the term is as normal as possible. It is important to acknowledge that within our school community there are wide-ranging views about the current COVID situation, the government's response to it all, and the impact on our families, whānau, friends, and our school. The team at Tawa School are following the guidance provided to us by the Ministry of Education. The MOE works closely with the Ministry of Health to produce this guidance. It isn't always perfect and can sometimes be overwhelming. However, we are trying our best to provide the safest environment possible while your children are at school. Sometimes we may get things wrong and we apologise for that, but we will learn from our mistakes and do it better next time. At our recent board meeting, this whakatauki was shared with us. Kia mau kia te aka mātua, ke mai ki te aka taipa. Cling to the main vine, not to the loose one. For our school, this references that we are holding tight to our key aims of being an inclusive, supportive school where children make great memories and learning progress despite what is happening in the world around them. We know that this season we are currently in is stressful, worrying, scary, and can produce big emotions. If you or your family are feeling vulnerable, please know that we are here to listen. Please feel free to get in contact, either to meet in person, chat online, or have a conversation by phone. Building projects. If you passed by our school over the summer break, you would have seen that Tawa School was a hive of building activity. We had roofers, painters and builders working on our long-awaited building projects. This current project has included re-roofing of rooms 3 and 4 and rooms 7, 8 and 9. We have re-pitched and re-lined flat roofs and replaced the high windows in those classroom blocks. Because of this, we have eliminated some significant water tightness issues. Other roofs have been repainted and we have installed new spouting right across the school. We have also started demolition of the bathrooms cloak bays behind rooms 7, 8 and 9. This will be turned into an open space with new bathrooms at each end and become an extra learning space as well. Our hall refurbishment has begun as well, which means that by next term we should have a fresh new hall interior with better flooring, acoustics, lighting and heating. I would like to extend my appreciation to the classes affected by the building works for their flexibility and resilience. Here are some frequently asked questions to help navigate this next phase of the COVID response. Who do we advise if our child tests positive for COVID-19? Please contact the principal at school on 232-6453 or email principal@tawa.school.nz as soon as possible. My child is tested positive for COVID-19. What does this mean? Your child will need to self-isolate and your whānau members will be designated as close contacts. This involves your child will need to self-isolate for 10 days. If at school, we will need to determine close contacts and notify wider whānau. If at home, your whānau will be close contacts and also need to self-isolate as per the guidelines. Support for testing and care will be provided by Regional Public Health. My child is a close contact. What does this mean? This means your child has had close contact with a positive case. Your child must self-isolate for 7 days from the date they had contact with the case. Testing must happen on day 5. Your child can stop isolating and return to school after a negative day 5 test and once 7 days have passed. A member of our household is a close contact. How does this affect my child? Your child is classed as a casual or secondary contact, so they can attend school as they have had no direct contact with the positive case. If the household member tests positive, then your child becomes a close contact and must self-isolate. What will the school do if there is a positive case? We follow a response plan that is guided by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. This involves seeking confirmation of the positive case and timeframes around the infectious period. If this is a school day, we will establish contact tracing. We will advise classes that are close contacts via email and a phone call. If this occurs during the day, whānau will be asked to collect their child as soon as possible. The rest of the school will be advised of the case and will be classed as casual contacts. If my child is a close contact, does the rest of our household need to self-isolate? Any household member would be classed as casual or secondary contact as they have had no direct contact with the case, so they do not have to self-isolate. Monitor for symptoms and get tested if symptomatic. My child is a casual contact at school. What does this mean? Your child was at school when there was a positive case. They've had no interaction with the case concerned. Your child is able to attend school. We do ask that whānau watch for any symptoms such as a sore throat, runny nose, cough or fever. Get tested if these symptoms develop. Stay at home until you receive a result. If negative, your child can return to school once well. If positive, follow isolation guidelines. Please keep a close eye out on all school communications. How do we work out who is a close contact or a casual contact at school? There are detailed criteria for determining this. Some of the considerations are location, time spent in that location, others present in the location, movements of the case concerned, interactions between the case and other people. With everything going on, my child is feeling anxious. What can I do? At Tawa School, we're doing what we can to ensure that school is a safe, fun place to be. Teachers are being careful to focus on positive solutions to encourage students to look after themselves, one another, and show kindness. kidshealth.org.nz has some good resources that might help. My child is self-isolating. What schoolwork will be available? Learning grids with a range of offline and online learning activities will be available for whānau to access. If there are situations where staff are isolating as well as a class, we will shift to a distance learning program. If a student is unwell, there is no expectation for them to do any work. As we work through this current COVID situation, please keep us informed about any developments and please keep your child home if they are unwell. Kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui. As we navigate the current COVID-19 Omicron outbreak, there may be cases that start to arise in our Tawa School community. Communication with our school community, once a case is confirmed, will be guided by Public Health and the Ministry of Education. Planning for the possibility of absent staff and/or students is complex and will require flexibility and patience from everyone involved in and around our school. The information on this page is a step-by-step guide of what to do for your child and who to notify should cases emerge. Tawa School's response to the Omicron outbreak will happen in 4 stages depending on case numbers at school and in the community. Stage 1, school is open with all students learning on site. Stage 2, school is open with some students on site and some students learning from home. Stage 3, school is open but the school site is closed. Distance learning programs are in place. Stage 4, school is closed with no learning programs available due to staff illness. If your child tests positive for COVID-19, please contact the school as soon as possible. Try to compile a list of possible close contacts. Self-isolate for 10 days, test on day 5 and then again on day 8. Your child can return to school on day 11 if a negative day 8 PCR test is confirmed and they are asymptomatic. If a household whānau member tests positive for COVID-19, contact the school as soon as possible. Your child is a close contact. Isolate for 10 days, monitor for symptoms and get a PCR test on days 3 and day 8. Your child can return to school on day 11 if a negative day 8 PCR test is confirmed and they are asymptomatic. If your child is a close contact of a positive case not in their house, contact the school as soon as possible if school did not notify you of the close contact. Isolate for 7 days, monitor for symptoms and get a PCR test on day 5. Your child can return to school on day 8 if a negative day 5 PCR test is confirmed and they are asymptomatic. A household whānau member is a close contact of a positive case. Inform the school as soon as possible. Your child can continue to attend school. Monitor your child for any symptoms and get tested if unwell. Your child can return to school after a negative test. If your child is a casual or secondary contact, they are able to attend school, but please watch for any symptoms. Tawa Home and School. Tawa's home and school team have had a long history of supporting the school through organising events, fundraising for different things around the school, and connecting the school community. We have had a number of committed volunteers in the past, but as their children have grown and moved on, so have the parents who have been involved. This has left us in a situation where the group is very small and its function as a team is limited due to lack of numbers. The group as it stands at the moment is in limbo. For it to grow and flourish, we are looking for more of our school community to join this group. We acknowledge that while we work through life at Red, school events are limited. However, using this time to build the group and plan for future opportunities would be great. I've already had some interest from our school community, but would really love to have more of our whānau involved. Board briefs. The Tawa School Board of Trustees met on Tuesday to discuss the matters of school. The board was also fortunate to have Brenda Kirkman and Andrew Parkinson join us to present the details of the Sunshine Team camp later in the term and outline the safety measures being taken in response to the current red level setting, as well as wider risk management mitigations. Following the presentation, the board could see that all safety measures are being taken and agreed that the camp could still go ahead as long as there aren't significant changes to the COVID situation. It was agreed that a survey would go to the community to get their voice about holding camp, and a decision will be made in week 6 to confirm that camp will go ahead. I appreciate there's a lot of information to take in at the moment. Please make sure you ask any questions should you be unsure of anything. As always, we appreciate the community's support of our school.
As I mentioned in the news, there's a whole stack of information. You can go to our school website and click on the COVID tab. There's got plenty of information there as well. And by all means, if you need to come and chat to us, flick through an email, chat to us through the fence at the end of the day, that is absolutely fine. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Look after yourselves, and we will catch you on Monday, ready for the start of week 4. Ka kite anō.